Well, we lived in Florida for 7 years now, so I thought I'd share some things I love and hate about Florida. There's not much I hate about Florida, except for the traffic. You know how much I hate the traffic? It's horrific. I've never seen so many accidents in my life. And I lived in Ohio in the snow belt where there's ice and snow. I don't know what it is because the roads are flat. Maybe people are driving like super fast. The speed limit's like 70 on the highway, so people are going 90 or faster, so that's a little dangerous. We live between Route 75 and Route 41. 41 was the main road all the way from Tampa all the way down to Naples and across Florida to Miami. But then Highway 75 was built. Well, it's always under construction. That's not, I don't think, the issue of the accidents. People are coming from all over the world, from different places, so people drive maybe a little differently. And yes, we have older people. They can't see as well or hear as well, so in the reaction time might not be as good, but there's plenty of younger people getting in accidents, of course, drinking and driving. It's like that everywhere, I suppose. But it seems like I see an accident daily. If I leave the house, I will see an accident somewhere. Sometimes they're not so bad, but weekly I at least hear of one in the vicinity that is deadly. So I'd have to say that's definitely not something I care for, especially during the winter when everyone's down here. It's just too congested, and I feel that Florida has a very difficult time keeping up with the amount of people moving down here, and of course tourists. And we love our tourists. We need you down here. I love talking to people, asking them where they're from, how do they like it, how do they like here, just conversations. Kind of reminds me of the old days when we sat on our porch and the neighbors would come over and sit down and chit chat, or you'd go for a walk and you stop on your neighbor's steps and just chat, and I feel like that sometimes. I gotta say, the beaches are absolutely beautiful. Of course, Siesta Beach, you've seen those in my video with the weddings. It's sandy, flowery, soft. It never gets hot, not even in August when it's like super hot. Just beautiful, and it's clean. They clean the beaches, they rake them or something. They got these machines that go across to clean them up, so they're usually pretty clean, as well as all the other beaches, except for when we have some kind of spill. Then there's a bacteria level that gets real high, especially with the heat, like in the summer. We've had a few of them this summer where you couldn't go swimming. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but there were some kind of spills. And then, of course, the red tide could be very, very dangerous, especially for those of you with asthma. But even with no asthma, you can feel it. You'll choke the closer you get to the ocean when the red tide's real bad. You'll have to look it up, do a YouTube search and watch a video on red tide. But I should have mentioned about the cars. Even though the traffic's horrific, it takes you forever to get from one place to the next. That's why I always say, live where you're going to work and where you're going to be and play, because you don't want to have to drive if you don't have to. But I will say, because I lived in the snow belt and the ice and snow, I don't miss that ice and snow and driving in it, or scraping the ice, or trying to warm up the car for 20 minutes because it's freezing. I don't miss that at all. Down here it's warm every day, even in the winter. So you don't have to. Now, I'm talking about Southwest Florida, okay? Tampa up north, they've got a little bit different type of weather. So I'm just speaking for what I've experienced in my area in Southwest Florida. Now, pros and cons. Yes, there are good doctors and hospitals down here, but not where I happen to live. The hospital's not bad. It's just that there are so many people down here. Doctors get totally backed up, and patients don't get treated like they should. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, if you live near Tampa, Clearwater, that's where a lot of the specialists are, especially pediatrics. So if you're thinking about moving down here, make sure you check hospitals, doctors, where would you go, especially if you have some type of chronic illness. Well, I probably should mention about the sand. Our grass is really thick grass. It's kind of, back in Ohio, it was like weeds, you would pull it out, but all the grass is that way. I don't care about the grass. We prefer when it's dry and crunchy, so Rick doesn't have to cut it. Usually in the winter, it's dry and stops raining, and it sometimes gets dry and crunchy. We have so much sand. Well, everything's sand under this grass. and it gets in your house. So if you're living in a house or in a first floor apartment, you can almost be guaranteed you'll be, if you walk barefooted, you'll feel the sand in between your toes in your own house. No need to go to the beach. I wouldn't put a kiddie pool out in your backyard because it does attract snakes and bugs and things like that. And it's not like you're going to be going swimming. So unless you got a caged in patio, I don't recommend sticking a pool outside and thinking you're going to jump into it. Maybe if it's fresh, you have to empty it and then refill it and all that. That's a lot of work. The one thing you should know is if you live down here, it gets super hot. I like super hot because I'm the kind of person who turns purple as soon as it hits 75. I get cold very easily, but most of you probably won't care for the summer heat because it gets very, very hot and humid. But if you have a pool and you're near the Gulf of Mexico, you can go swimming, cool off, or go out in the morning, late evening. It's like when you put a magnifying glass over paper and the sun burns a hole in the paper. That's how it feels in the summer. So you don't want to be in like direct sunlight. But I personally love it. It feels good to me, the heat. I stay out of the sun, but I like the heat. A lot of people complain, but we have air conditioning just like up north when it's so cold. You turn on the heat and you stay inside. So depending on what you like. I also add about the sand. What's wonderful is you can grow tropical fruits, subtropical fruits. I'm trying to grow a dwarf banana out front. We'll see. I think we planted it in the wrong location, and we also planted this orange tree I have back here in the wrong location. So you have to learn where exactly to plant. But they like that sandy soil. So that's something that's pretty cool. I'm not a gardener, so don't ask me about gardening in Florida. I remember back in Ohio, I know in the same day you can go from like 20 degrees to 50 degrees, big jumps in temperatures. Here I'd have to say I have not experienced this. Now up north, Tampa North, I think they do experience a little bit more of a fluctuation. Ours, if you watch the Weather Channel, it'll be like 85 and sunny, 85 on Tuesday and sunny, Wednesday 86 and sunny. And every day is like 10% chance of showers because every day in the summer you will get some showers. You could see them, the clouds forming in front of your eyes, and they form and they drop a bunch of rain. Don't drive in that rain, just pull over and wait for it to go by. It's too dangerous. And in the winter it's even more constant. It's usually dry and perfect. Sunny, 70s, maybe 80, between 70 and 80. I don't know. You'll have to, it depends on what month it is, but it's pretty much perfect. You can count on it. There's not usually storms or anything. Of course, summer times we get some serious storms here. They're pretty fun to watch. This is the beginning of November and it's a beautiful day outside. It's sunny, but not humid. It's, I don't know, maybe 80 degrees, 78, 80. Just perfect. I think that's about 5 things I hate and love about Florida. Well, I hope you liked this video. Thumbs up, please share, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.